Hello, Biblio-curious viewers. My name is Whitney Courier. The last time you saw me, I was Whitney Lamora. I am now married. Changed my last name and everything. I do still own the site, whitneylamora.com. I am still an actor in Chicago. And you can jump on that very outdated website and see the projects that I'm working on. Yeah. So I am here today to give my little 2 cents on our latest book that was Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. I was really excited that the people of the world voted in our poll as to what we should read in August and September turned out to be Ender's Game. This was my third time, I believe, reading Ender's Game. I first read it in high school. I can't remember if it was required reading or if it was in one of my novels or English classes, but I definitely was first introduced to it there. I've never been the biggest sci-fi fan, and even to this day I'm not the biggest sci-fi fan ever, and I truly don't think that I've read a book as space involved as Ender's Game since then, but I truly loved it. When I first went into it, I had a lot of hesitations the very first time that I read it, because a little boy in space fighting battles with lasers and etc. was not something that excited me at all. But I was drawn into it, loved it, and just ate it up. I started to read one of the extensions off of the book. I can't remember which one, but kind of lost interest. It was just not the time for me, I guess. And then I think I read it a couple years after that, another time just for fun. And it has been many years since I've read it. So reading it again was like reading it for the first time. I know Rissa, over the last month or so, when we've been just checking in with each other, she said that it's been like reading the book for the first time, and she's figuring out so much more and seeing so much more between the lines, and I felt the same way. So it was really fun to read. My husband read it I think last year, and he read the whole series, and I've not read the other 2 books in the series, but it's something that I would like to do eventually. But yeah, I really love the book. I loved it just as much. Again, I love the idea of, the underdog saving the world, and I love all the concepts, and just everything about it was great. I love the big reveal at the end that the game was actually the war. That's always kind of one of my favorite reveals that I've ever read in a book before. So I would definitely, it's one of the few really sci-fi and kind of out there books that I would recommend to just about anyone, especially since it is about a child. It's kind of relatable to all ages, but now getting the chance to read it after I first read it when I was 15 or 16, it's 11 or 12 years later, it's just as enjoyable. So I'm glad we got to experience it again. And yeah, I'm really glad that I read it. I know there's a lot of controversy about the movie coming out, and I'm very curious to see, biblio-curious, to see if the other girls mention anything about the movie or all the issues surrounding it. But I guess in the last year or so, Orson Scott Card came out as kind of a homophobe, and said a lot of really terrible things and all this, and it's one of those things where I've seen a couple previews for the movie, and I'm so excited, but I'm also torn at the same time, because obviously I don't want to support someone who has such terrible and strong ideas about something that is so ridiculous, and no one should feel that horribly and hateful about anyone and about who they love or care to spend their days with. But at the same time, I think a lot of us would not see as much art or experience as much theater, music, anything if we looked so deeply into the things that everyone was creating, and the people behind it. I definitely don't want to go out and join his fan club, but I'm excited about a piece of literature that he made a long time ago, and I'm excited to see how the movie turns out, and just how it comes to life, and see how different it is in my brain over these last 10 years or so, and how it comes out on the screen. So yeah, I'm excited. I know I'll end up seeing it, but basically, don't be a jerk, and don't care who people love, or, you know, etc., etc. I don't need to go on a big tirade about that, but so yeah, thanks for sticking with us over this break while everybody kind of helped me get married, and then went off on their own little trips and came back to the US, and I'm very, very excited about Megan's announcement for our book for October. I can't wait for you to read along with us, and we'll see you in October. Yay, fall! Oh, I had to stop this.